behind this race is we saw that red wave that never came last year. If you asked me a year and a half, would I be running for president, I would have said, no way. We live a good life. Why bother ruining that over what we're doing now? What pulled me into this race is I see a Republican Party that has grown lazy. I don't just mean lazy in the get out the vote operation sense of lazy. I mean lazy in a deeper sense of defining who we are and what we even stand for. What does it mean to be a Republican in the year 2024? What does it mean to be an American in the year 2024? We've lost that. I think it means we believe in the ideals of 1776. That's what we need to revive in this country. Ideals like merit, the pursuit of excellence, the idea that you get ahead in this country not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character and your contributions. That's why I've said we will end racial quota systems and affirmative action in every area of American life. It's been a cancer on our national soul, and we're done with it. It means we believe in the rule of law. And I say this as the kid of legal immigrants to this country. That means your first act of entering this country cannot break the law. That's why we will use our own military to secure our own southern border and our northern border too. That's what it means to stand for the rule of law in the United States of America. It means that we, the people, create a government that is accountable to us, not the other way around. That the people who we elect to run the government ought to be the ones who actually run the government, not the shadow government in the deep state that's actually running the show today. Going to drain the swamp, here's how we're going to do it. I will fire 75% of those federal bureaucrats by the end of my first term. Half of that will get done by the first month. If I can't work for you for more than 8 years, which I think is a good thing, by the way, then neither should any of those federal bureaucrats reporting into me either. 8-year term limits for the bureaucracy instead of civil service protections. That's how you drain the swamp. Shut down agencies that should no longer exist. FBI, ATF, CDC, U.S. Department of Education. We're not just doing the incremental reform game. That doesn't work. We will get in there and shut them down. That's how you revive the integrity of a constitutional republic. And we're going to open this up. Push me on how. We have the most detailed plans of actually shutting down the shadow government. That's the one war I promise you I will wage. Not some pointless foreign war abroad. Iraq 2.0. Now in Ukraine, send $200 billion of our taxpayer money so some kleptocrat can buy a bigger house. No, we're not doing that. The war that I will wage and win is the war on our own shadow government in the United States of America. Fix that, the rest of this becomes easier. Growing our economy, ending the corruption. It starts with actually shutting down the deep state. And yes, to do this, we do need elections we can trust and believe in this country. You're not supposed to talk about this one, but it's the one we need to talk about. What I will deliver as your next president is minimal federal standards for federal elections. Single-day voting on Election Day as a national holiday with paper ballots, government-issued voter ID to match the voter file, and yes, English as the sole language that appears on a ballot. That's not controversial, that's common sense. These aren't black ideas or white ideas. These aren't even really Democrat ideas or Republican ideas, not really. These are American ideals that we fought a revolution to secure. And I believe deep in my heart that those ideals still exist. I'm running for president to revive them. It's on the back of our coins. It's our creed. E pluribus unum. It means from many, one. That's what we've lost in this country. We've been taught to celebrate our diversity and our differences so much that we forgot all of the ways we are really the same as Americans. bound by that common set of ideals. And here's how we're going to get it back. It's going to be by all of us, not just me, all of us, starting to speak the truth in the open again. Say in public what you will say in private at the dinner table. Say it with a spine. Say it with conviction. Say it with respect. But part of respect is that you respect your neighbor enough to tell them what you actually think. You see, that's what this campaign is about. Speaking the truth, not just when it's easy, but when it is hard. Speaking the truth, not just to the Democrats on the other side, but to our own side, our own party, when necessary too. There's a reason why I'm the only person in this race who can even touch certain topics. To tell you that I'm against the CO2 pipeline making its way across the other part of this state, using eminent domain to seize the land of innocent farmers and violate their private property rights. To tell you that it is based on a climate change agenda that absolutely is, I'll say it, absolutely is a hoax, because it has nothing to do with the climate. To tell you that we need accountability in our party, that Ronna McDaniel, the failed chairwoman of the RNC, needs to step down after 5 failed years of leadership. That's what accountability means in our own party. The only person in this race who can tell you that on day one, I will pardon every peaceful protester from January 6th, because that's the right thing to do in this country, to stand for one standard of the rule of law for all Americans. And I want you to ask yourself, why am I the only candidate who can say these things to you? It's because our politics is corrupt. That's why. Every politician today is dancing to the tune of their biggest donor. It's a fact. And in my case, that biggest donor is me. I don't report to them. I report to you, the people of this country. I'm not going to be somebody's circus monkey, not somebody's pawn on a chessboard. I'd rather speak the truth and lose this election than to win by playing some political snakes and ladders. That's the truth. But my bet is that's the winning strategy. That's not my decision. That's up to you. The things I'm saying, they're controversial not because they are false, but because they are true. God is real. There are 2 genders. Never thought I'd have to say that one. Fossil fuels are a requirement for human prosperity. Reverse racism is racism. An open border is not a border. Parents determine the education of their children. The nuclear family isn't a bad word. It's the greatest form of governance known to mankind. Capitalism lifts us up from poverty, and we shouldn't apologize for it. There's 3 branches of government in the United States, not 4. And the U.S. Constitution, it is the strongest and greatest guarantor of freedom in human history. That is the truth. We fight for the truth. We stand up for the truth. That is what won us the American Revolution. That is what reunited us after the Civil War. That's what won us 2 world wars and the Cold War. That is what still gives hope to the free world. And if we can revive that dream over group identity and victimhood and grievance, then nobody in the world, not a nation, not a corporation, not a virus, not China, is going to defeat us. That's what American exceptionalism is all about. And that is what we're going to revive to save this great country. Thank you for coming out this morning, guys. God bless you and your families. And may God bless our United States of America. I want to practice what we preach a little bit. I'm going to sit across the table from Xi Jinping in about 18 months, guys, so I can handle it. Give me the hard ones. Take the filters off and let's open this up.
What are you going to do to fix a broken mental health system?
Yeah.
We have a lot going on in the world. We don't know how to handle it, and we have mass shootings, and then we come back and they're like, oh, well, they have mental health issues. I have 4 children. They all have mental health issues.
Yeah.
So what will you do to fix that? Because there is nowhere to go to help them.
Thank you. I think that you asked, what would you ask to do to fix our mental health system? And you say you have 4 kids. I'm a father of 2 sons. 60% of kids today have some type of mental health condition. 4 times what it was even a few decades ago. The first thing I would say is, and I'm just going to speak frankly, we don't have a mental health system.
I mean,
we don't even have a health system in this country. We don't have a health care system. We have a sick care system. Now, I think what we actually need is to bring back some of the non-pharmaceutical care that we used to have in this country. Health insurance doesn't pay for that today. Not much of it.
Until they do something criminal.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're exactly right. We have a sick care system that will pay for expensive interventions in the healthcare system to putting people in jail. You want to know the number one source? You don't know what the mental health care system in this country? It's called prison. It's the number one place of providing mental health care. That has to end on my watch. So one of the platforms, actually I started with this pretty early in the campaign, was to bring back some of those psychiatric and mental health care institutions that we closed. Here's the dirty little secret on why we closed them. People don't know this. I know this because my first business was a biotech company that challenged a lot of big pharma's bureaucracies. But you see how ugly this game is. It's because of big pharma lobbying that we closed those psychiatric institutions in the first place, because they came out with a generation of blockbuster antipsychotic drugs that they figured they could sell more of if people weren't trapped in those institutions and or getting care that didn't rely on pharmaceuticals. That's what happened. And so part of this is just fixing the corruption in this country. Part of this is fixing the healthcare system. More competitive private health insurance that would pay for non-pharmaceutical care. So I've laid that a lot in my healthcare policy, but there's a part of this I also want to address that's deeper. Because some of this is through policy, and I've laid this out in other places. And yes, bring back those mental health institutions, get a more competitive private health insurance market that can actually cover non-pharmaceutical care. But some of this is deeper in our country. There's something going on right now. Gets to the root cause of why I'm actually in this. Young people in this country right now are hungry for a cause. My generation, I'm 38 years old. We are starved for purpose and meaning and identity at a time in our history when the things that used to fill that void, faith, patriotism, hard work, family, these things have disappeared. There's an old saying, it goes, if you have a hole the size of God in your heart and God does not fill it, something else will instead. If you don't pledge allegiance to this flag, you'll pledge allegiance to a different flag instead. That's quite literally where the transgender flag comes from. It fills a void in our hearts. And so I think it's not an accident that you see the rise of wokeism and transgenderism and climatism and COVIDism at the same time that you see the rise of depression and anxiety and fentanyl and opioid usage and suicide. I think these are all symptoms of a deeper void of purpose and meaning in our country. I can't fix that single-handedly as the president, but I will play my part. I think part of this is we're hungry to be part of something bigger than ourselves, yet we can't even answer what it means to be an American. Revive our national identity, our sense of purpose. That dilutes a lot of this poison to irrelevance as well. And that is something I can do as the next president, to set an example. Yes, some of this is policy and fixing the system, but some of this is filling a deeper void. The aimless passage of time, we're all a bunch of automatons, celebrating our different shades of melanin, two-legged higher mammals, walking some geographic space that we call a country, doing what our iPhones tell us to do on a given day. That's not a country. This country is a vision of what that place can be. I do think social media usage is part of this in kids. I would say that just as you can't smoke an addictive cigarette by the age of 18 or 21 for alcohol, you should not be able to use an addictive social media algorithmically powered product by the age of 16 either. I think that's not Democrat or Republican. This is nonpartisan policy. And so I think it's going to take a president who understands that deeper psychological void in our country right now to be able to fill it. And as from one parent to another, I can tell you, That's important to us as it is to the next generation. And so I thank you for asking that. And my mother was a psychiatrist. She treated patients at the VA who suffered from PTSD. And I think that's another area. We're not taking care of our veterans, many of whom suffer from that same mental health epidemic. Get to that root cause through some of the things we talked about. Addressing a lot of our other problems in this country becomes that much easier. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you. Right here, sir.
So you are now saying that climate change is a hoax. I agree with you. You also speak highly of President Trump as well. But back in 2018, in your book, you said that climate change was real, and it was one of the, I can't remember the exact word, one of the things of our time, or one of the most, I can't think of the word.
No, I've actually been, I've been very precise in my language here, and I'll tell you exactly what my views are, because I don't want to call myself an expert on anything, but I know a lot about this subject, and I've been deep on this for a long time. I said the climate change agenda is a hoax.
Okay.
The climate change agenda is a hoax. So if you want to get into the details on this, I think it's important. Are global surface temperatures going up a little bit? Yes, they are. Is there some man-made component to that? There might be. It looks more likely than not that there is. But is that an existential risk for humanity? It is not. That is made up. This is actually where our side misses the plot. There are net good effects from climate change. Think about it. More people have died of ice ages in human history than have died of heat waves. 8 times as many people are going to die this year of cold temperatures rather than warm ones. And we're taught to believe that somehow a small rise in surface temperatures is on net a bad thing. In fact, there's a 98% reduction in the climate disaster-related death rate over the last century because of more use of fossil fuels. The Earth is more covered by green surface area today than it was 100 years ago because carbon dioxide is plant food. That makes sense. Yeah. You would think that actually makes sense, right?
CO2 is used by plants.
Exactly. There's your carbon capture rather than the carbon capture pipeline that they're using across the state. And if anybody familiar with that issue, this carbon capture pipeline, few of you? So what they're doing is they're capturing carbon dioxide out of ethanol plants. They're burying it in the ground through this pipeline, running across farmers' land. Many farmers are saying, I don't want that crap in my backyard, because in Mississippi and other places where they've done this, there have been ruptures that send people to the hospital. It affects crop yields. And now in this state, they're saying they're going to use eminent domain to seize the land of those farmers to build that pipeline anyway, even if they don't want it. Eminent domains mean they set the price, not you. And you know who's supporting it? Not just Democrats, but Republicans. Not a single other Republican candidate has had the guts to come up against this, because when I first spoke out about this in March of this year, I got the same phone calls they do. Powerful people in this state and across the country, mega donor class and otherwise, effectively says, shut up, sit down, do as you're told, or you're a climate denier. And so I think it's important to be precise. And that's where this is an issue. I'm not going to claim to be an expert on a lot of things, but this is one I know a lot about. Are the surface temperatures going up a little bit? Right now, in the last 50 years, they have been a little bit. My point is, you have to look at the net effect of that. There's a strong argument the net effect of that may not even be negative. There could be net positive effects from that as well. We should not change our modern way of life over it. That's the answer to the question. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And I didn't tell you what I do as president. So now I gave you kind of my analysis hat. Let me tell you what I'll do as president. Any regulation that even mandates the reporting of carbon dioxide emissions, we're done with it. And this is the framework. Instead of measuring, I'll take that as a cheer. I like that. Because actually it is, no, you don't need to, we like this. Yeah, this makes me feel at home. But it's her generation that's going to be affected by this if we actually constrain our economy over this. So instead of measuring human impact on the atmosphere, let's measure the impact of everything on human beings, our human health and our economy. Drill, frack, burn coal, embrace nuclear energy. That's also something we need to do in this country. The very people who are most opposed to carbon emissions in the United States are also the ones who are most opposed to nuclear energy. Think about that. That doesn't make any sense. Nuclear energy is the greatest form of carbon-free energy production known to man. So why are the same people who are against carbon emissions also against nuclear energy? It's because the climate agenda has nothing to do with the climate, really. It's about what they call global equity. which is letting the rest of the world catch up to the U.S. Nuclear energy might be too good at solving their made-up energy crisis. That's why they're against it. By the end of my first term, we'll have 3 Gen 4 nuclear reactors being built in this country. Right now, the only country in the world that has one is China. That changes on my watch. By 2028, we have 3 of them from coast to coast in the United States of America. That's what excellence is all about. So that gives you a sense of what I'm going to do as well. Thank you, my man. I appreciate it. 1 to 2 more questions, maybe. We'll go right here, and then you guys both have questions? I'll go fast. I'll go super fast. They're telling me one more question. What's up?
Why you?
Oh, yeah, this is an important one. So there's 2 America First candidates in this race. It's Donald Trump and myself. I respect Donald Trump, and I've shown more respect for him than anybody else in this race because I respect his achievements for this country. But I want you to open your eyes with me, people. Sometimes the truth hurts to hear, but you got to see it. I think you already do see it. You got to admit it to yourself. They will not let this man get anywhere near that White House again. They are selling us the rope today that they will use to hang us tomorrow. Fast forward 18 months from now. You think you're going to be looking back and saying, oh, I'm shocked that by hell or high water, they will stop at nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. I'm just going to leave it at that, to take this man out of contention. Will you look back 18 months from now and say, oh, I'm shocked that happened. How did that do that to us? Or what the hell was I thinking, falling into their trap? What are you going to say 18 months from now? Don't fall into their trap. We cannot fall for their trick. We love the man because he got this fight started. It is our job to finish it. And the America First agenda does not belong to one man. I'm sorry, it doesn't belong to Donald Trump, but just as it doesn't belong to me, it belongs to you, to us, to we the people of this country. Started in 1776. This didn't start in 2016. This started in 1776. George Washington was the first America First conservative. I refuse to be the generation that watches this waste away in front of our eyes. We're in the middle of a war right now. If my kids are in high school before we get this right, we don't have a country left. That's what's at stake. And so if you want to win this war, and I do, and I will, you want a commander-in-chief who has not yet been wounded in that war. I will respect Trump and his legacy because that's the right thing to do. He rolled over that log. We saw what crawled out. I'm bringing the pesticide. Okay? They duped him. They told him you can't fire those civil service employees because of civil service protections. Read the law. Yes, you can if you're bringing mass firings. Those are not covered by the civil service protections. They told him you can't end birthright citizenship because you need a constitutional amendment. Yes, you can. Read the 14th Amendment. Know what it says. So this is the other thing. A, they're not going to let him win. And B, when I do get to office, they're not going to dupe me in the same way. We need an outsider with sharp elbows. I bring that. Trump brings that too. A businessman, not a professional politician. You've seen me on the debate stage. I'm going to bring that to Washington, D.C. We're just getting warmed up. But we also need an outsider, and I'm alone in bringing this, who actually understands the law and the Constitution in this country. And we will use it on our side to actually declare victory rather than to let them dupe us. Do not fall into their trap. And I'm glad you asked this because many of you, even rewind a few months, if I was running for president, I'd be right there. I'd be voting for Donald Trump too because that's the only choice we'd have. But you got the future of America First standing right here in front of you. Do not fall into the trick they have laid because they've got a whole plan laid out. It's another Trojan horse they're ready to take. They want this to be a 2-horse race, eliminate Donald Trump, and then put up their Trojan horse. That's what they're waiting for. Don't fall into it. I'm asking for your vote on January 15th. If you all do your part, I will do mine. It is my accountability back to you to deliver you a landslide election that brings young people, people outside of our movement into this. We have to win by a landslide. A landslide minus some shenanigans is still going to be a win. That's what we need. Get that. That's how we get our country back. That's why I'm asking, even those of you who might have gone that direction 6 months ago, I respect it and I get it. Do the right thing for our country, and that's what I'm asking for. Thank you. I appreciate it. We'll take these last 2 questions together.
I think you kind of answered mine. I was just like, what are you going to do when the left comes after you with their new political weapon of taking people off the ballot?
It's a constitution. Yeah, I'll take them together with this gentleman's question. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I would just want to elaborate a little bit more. We have 8 million people that have crossed our border illegally.
I'll hit this.
How are we going to solve that problem?
Yep. There's another one where we deserve a leader who cannot be duped. You got to know the law. So first is, we're not going to send a dime of money to Central America. We're going to demand that they build their own border walls all the way for every country between Venezuela to the northern border of Mexico. We'll use our own military to secure our own southern border. But then we got to end the incentives that we've created to be here illegally. No more federal funding for sanctuary cities. Done with it. Ending birthright citizenship for the kids of those illegal migrants. We're done with it. And then I'll do the hard thing. Anyone who is in this country illegally will be returned to their country of origin. And I will tell you how we do this. Again, they told prior presidents, there's only 6,000 ICE agents, Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents. How could we possibly get 8 million people out of this country? Answer. Use the existing law. 287G, it's a section of the law that allows ICE to serve their warrants via local law enforcement. I've talked to local law enforcement across this country. States from New Hampshire to Iowa to otherwise, in between. They're standing by the ready to do this. Just takes a president with the spine to instruct ICE to actually do the right thing. That's 1 million people. Now a country that put a man on the moon can absolutely get that done. So I think this country deserves a president who brings both of those things. And I'll close on this as it's my faith that brings me to this race, that gives me my sense of duty to do what we're doing right now. I believe that God gives each of us our own unique gifts. Every one of us in this room has our own unique God-given gifts. It is our duty, our moral duty, to use those gifts to do what's right in the short time that we are given. Usually you don't get somebody who's both the strong business executor and a constitutionalist in the same person. You might have the academic law type, you might have the business guy. That's what we require right now. That's why I'm in this race. When I leave office in January 2033 after 2 terms, there's a lot of things I want to tell you that we did. Shut down the deep state. Start with that. Grow this economy. Declare economic independence from communist China. I'll keep us out of World War III. Protect our own homeland, something we failed to do. But the most important thing I want to tell you, and I think it's going to take, it's aligned with my theme actually, is actually, I think we need a leader from the next generation with fresh legs to reach and lead that new generation of Americans. And so I'm asking you guys to do your part on January 15th. Every one of your voices and votes at that Iowa caucus, it's the equivalent of 1 million people, the impact it has in choosing our president. And if you all do your part, I promise you that my family and I, my wife Apurva and I, we will do ours. She's saving lives every day. She's doing this, though, because she knows this is about saving the life of our country. If you all do your part, we'll do ours to make sure that we are not some nation in decline anymore. That we don't have to be at the end of the ancient Roman Empire, as we're taught to believe. I think the truth is, as a nation right now, we're really just a little young, actually. Going through our own version of adolescence. Figuring out who we're going to be when we grow up. And when you view it that way, it all makes sense again to me, at least. You go through your adolescence, you go through that identity crisis. You lose your way a little bit. You do some stupid things. But we are stronger for it when we get to our adulthood on the other side. We're 250 years into this ball game. I think we have 250 years and then some yet to go. I don't think we have to be that nation in decline. I think we still can be a nation in our ascent. I'm not going to be the guy who walks in here and tells you it's morning in America, guys. It's not right now. But it can be. I'm not going to look a young person in the eye and tell you the American dream is alive and well right now. It's not. It's alive and hanging on for life support. That's where we are. But it can be. And so, yes, if you all do your part, I promise you, my family and I, we will do ours to make sure, not in some fake politician way, but in a true way, make sure that our country's best days are actually still ahead of us. Thank you for coming this morning, guys. God bless you and your families, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Thank you. We have some time for pictures, or
Yeah.
We do? Good. Good to see you, man. Thank you for that.
This is our
We're
moment.
going to do this, man. Thank you.
Us here in this room together, we can get this man to be the President of the United
Thank you, man.
States of
We're taking
America.
this forward.
We will win. We
Means a
will
lot to me,
shock
brother.
the world on
Tell the
January
people in this
15th
community.
with your help.
What do you do?
Juan, Tyler,
in the
Simone, the
concrete
team is
industry-
coming
industry.
around with contact cards.
do what you're
Please
doing.
grab a card, fill it out. We do have a few minutes with Vivek for pictures. So thank you for coming.
You spread the message to this community, we're going to do ours, man. Concrete. We need more people doing that right now. Shortage. What's your name?
Matt Weir.
We got your back, man.
Thank you.
We're going to get this done. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. Have your shirt. Thank you, man. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, let's do it. You guys together?
Yeah, we're together.
Thank you.
Can you sign?
Okay, okay. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service, sir. You served the operation? You did too? Thank you. And we got your kids back too.
Hopefully.
We got them. We do. That's why we're doing this. We're in this for their generation, and we're not taking care of our own veterans. Picking up mental health for veterans. How about some decompression buffers when they come back from combat roles? What's that? Yeah. And our VA, I think, needs to treat our veterans as their own shareholders. I come from the private sector. We'll bring that to the VA. We got your back. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I'm a caucus captain.
Oh, you are?
In Cedar Falls, Iowa. So I'll be standing up for you.
Thank you. It
And
means a
I'm
lot to me,
standing
man.
up because you represent the principles. You're a good man, but you focus on the principles
principles
that makes this country great.
That's what we have.
And that's what we have. And that's my speech.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot. It means you understand this campaign and you understand why we're doing this. That's
Thank
what
you.
it's about.
Yeah.
Thank you. Those principles are bigger than one man. Thank you. Counting on you. Thank you. Hey, it's good to see you. Would you like a picture? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Saw you
I appreciate
clearly.
it.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, guys. It means a lot. It means a lot to be here, guys. Thank you.
You've got answers to a lot of questions things that
Now we just need to
it's
implement
just
it.
grown a lot.
Now
Yep.
we just need to implement it.
Yep.
So thank you.
Good
I
luck.
appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate
got
it.
your coat.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Fine.
Tell our Clear Lake friends we said hello. Thank you. Thanks. Good to see
I love
you.
your message.
Hey,
Thank
good to see
I
you.
brought my son this week this time from Wayne.
Good to see you. Thank you, man. I appreciate being here. Thank you. Hopefully I answered your question.
You did. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you.
Coming up, guys. We have 2 more minutes. So let's,
Yes, I would love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gary, can you take it? Hang on. Right here. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys.
You're making this tough for us.
It shouldn't be tough,
Well,
actually.
well, you know-
it's about the future. I understand what you mean.
Yeah,
I understand what you mean.
Donald Trump,
I respect the man.
That's why we're here today to see
Yeah,
you. So,
there's just
yeah,
don't fall for the other side's trap.
I know.
It's hiding in plain sight. You can see it. They're not going to let it happen. I can take this forward, and I'll take him as my most important advisor. We'll pardon him and everything else.
38 years old. You're something else.
If you want to save Trump, vote for me. I mean that. Thank you.
God bless your family.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Thanks a lot. Hey, good to see you guys. Oh my gosh, she was so cute. 9 months? 9 months. Amazing. Thank you. Yeah, he could take it. Thank you.
Sorry, I wasn't sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I love
man.
seeing you dismantle Nikki Haley. I don't
Oh, dude,
trust her. I don't trust her at all.
she's worse than many Democrats who could run for president.
Well,
Restrictions
I
on
don't like
speech and
DeSantis
fighting
either.
foreign wars. So
I don't like
well,
either DeSantis or her,
you spread the
but
message, and we bring this along.
Well, I
I'm
will
telling you
admit, you're my number 2. Trump is still my number 1.
I would tell you,
but
don't fall for their trick.
I know.
I do not fall for their trap.
I see it.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Okay, that's the answer. So.
Well, we're going to talk about it. We're going to make some decisions.
And a vote for me will be a vote for our movement going to the next level. That's the answer. So do that in Iowa. Even if you vote for me, you make me number 2 coming out of Iowa. Then we have a good shot. Okay? For our country. That's what I'm asking
I'd love
for.
to see you as VP, too. That'd be awesome. Both of y'all tearing them apart.
What I'll say is this. Vote for me in Iowa. I'll do my part. Okay? That's what I'm asking for. Spread the message in this community.
Hey, how are
Thank you,
you?
man. Good to see you.
I'm actually in from Madison,
Oh,
Wisconsin.
you are. Thank you. I'll sign this for you. Thank you, sir. Thank you guys for being here, guys. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything you're doing. Good to see you.
You take a picture.
Thank
Oh, you gotta go?
Good to
Okay.
see you.
That's fine.
Good to see you.
We'll
Thank
see
you
you
for being here.
soon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Yes? Oh, hey.
I've been watching you since long before you started running for president. You're on some of my favorite segments of the Gutfeld show.
Oh, is that right? Good to see you. Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I wish
and
you all the best.
I appreciate it. We're going to do it. Thank you.
Good to see you, Vivek.
Good to see you,
You bet.
man.
Yep.
I appreciate you.
You bet. My daughter, your daughter, granddaughter.
Thank you,
my
guys.
nephew Steve. You bet.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
I watch
Remember what
a lot
tell
on
you?
TV. I watch a lot on TV.
We can't fall for their trick.
I know that.
That's
You
what
bet.
I'll say.
You bet.
Spread the
Definitely.
message in this community.
I will try.
You do your part, we're going to do ours.
Yep, you betcha.
I think we're going to do this.
Appreciate you.
Yep. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hey, how you doing, sir?
Good to see you.
It's good to see you, man. What's your name?
John.
John.
We met at the AmFest.
I was just going to say, you look familiar. Good to see you again, man. I'm glad to see you here. Hey, good to see you guys.
Yeah, great speech.
I would say, yeah.
All right.
Don't.
All right. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't fall for the trick.
Yeah.
That's what I asked for. Think ahead for our country. Do the right thing, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Spread the message in this community, brother.
Yeah, thank
We'll
you.
see you.
Yeah.
Take it easy, guys. Good seeing you, man. Thank you again. Means a lot. Thank you. I'll sign that for you. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Gavin.
Yes.
You ever going to put that hat on for me? Are we live? Good man. He took this off, and he put this on. So I appreciate that. We're going to take our movement forward.
Absolutely.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Take care and keep up what you're doing.
Okay,
Your
guys.
concrete
Thank
business
you.
too. Yeah, we'll get a picture. Absolutely.
Thank you for
I
coming.
appreciate it.
Thank you for your movement.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm nervous.
Best of luck to you.
That's okay. You don't need it. I can get it for you. Oh, there you got it. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Take care, guys.
I'm going to give this to you. I don't have any
Oh, thank you,
questions,
man.
but all my questions are all in here that
Okay.
I'm going to ask. So
I appreciate that.
I'm going to see you in the next 3 cities. I'm probably we're groupies.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you,
Hey,
brother.
can we get a selfie
Thank you.
real
I'm
quick?
glad you're coming today. Yeah, let's do it before we
All
go.
right, cool.
Hey, guys. Perfect. Thank you, man.
Hey, awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies. I just want to say thank you for having us here. It's a great restaurant. Thank you for having us. All the best. It's a great. I love the flag on the shirt too. It's got my attention. Thank you, guys. Hi, sir. How are you, sir? What's your name? What's your name? I'm Vivek. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for having us, and all the best, guys. We'll see you later. See you guys. Hey, it's good to see you. Are we late?
No.
I'm going to open this. He said he's going to ask me these questions at the next stop. He said, yeah, open it. Yeah, just check it out.